cultural moment or memory from your upbringing that still shapes how you see the world?
They said I did. Yeah. Okay. All right. Can you hear me? Okay. So my dad is probably watching this and he's going to really enjoy this, but the moment that sticks out for me the most is we would travel to Canada all the time when we were kids. Our whole family lived in Canada. All my dad's younger brothers and sisters, but there's some here in Hargeysa. And everywhere we went, if we went to a random store or whatever, he would find a Somali person and he would talk to them. And then once they talked to each other, they realized that they know each other from somewhere. And so that taught me from a very young age that anywhere I go, as long as there's a Somali person, we're not strangers. And so as I've gotten older and I've traveled all across the world, whatever random friends Abba's made throughout the years always end up taking me in. And so that to me really solidified my connection to this culture past my ethnicity. Obviously I'm speaking English, so I could have just been an American girl lost in America, but I made a very committed or dedicated effort to stay within this cultural space.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Oh, memory. Okay, so one memory that really sticks for me and it really shaped how I see myself and how I see the world is markan yara waxa lagu yiri jiray nafyar waan suuxi jiray markan yara and cid may ogeyn waxaan u suuxi jiray until later waxa la ogaaday inaan anemic yahay. Yeah, so wax badan baan naga maqan, right? Marka, and so throughout the years, I see myself through the lenses of dadka kale. Nafyar. Ila up to maybe 2019 actually. That's when I changed the narrative. So I remember hooya ila soo hadashay maalin anigoo soo kacay. Markaasaan maqlay alla hadda hurdada ka soo kacday. Nafyar. And it hit me. Oh, the image and the memory, maskaxda, I held was one of Nafyar. And I realized that that's how I saw myself. And everything I did moving forward was from that lens. I cannot do anything because Nafyar banahay. I cannot succeed because Nafyar banahay. I cannot do anything in life because Nafyar banahay. I'm weak. I don't have any capacity to do anything. That's how I saw myself for most of my life. And that's how I saw the world. Because my vision, they mirrored what I saw. And I started working on that image, the image I held in my mind, from Nafyar to everything is possible. And I can change. When you change yourself and you change your mind and you change the world within you, the world around you also changes. How you see the world changes. So that's one of the memory. It limited me one time, but it freed me also.
Itainan muno tegin as a skinny person myself, I hate to say that I relate to that experience. But halkan waxa ka muuqata laba sheeko aad u kala duwan baad labadiinuba sheegteen. Labaduba waxay wadaagaan amba factorka u dhaxeeya waxa weeye dhaqanka amina si positive u shape gareeyay inaan dadka Soomaalida ahi strangers ahayn buu tusay iyadoo yar adigana Soomaalidan caanka ku ah in dadka ay dacaydaysan magacyada inaan isaa u bixiso ayaa maartay muddo dheer oo noloshaada saameyn taban kugu lahayd. Marka halkan waxa ka muuqata in dhaqanku dhinac wanaagsan iyo dhinac xunba dadka iyo xasuusahooda ka qaabayn karo. Munahay adiga ka war حسوس
خضر أنا قرب تشوق ميه حسوس هذا نراهضه واحد شرتي جوريجان كوكراي جوريجان كوكراي قبيلة بان كوكراي أنا مركا جوريجان دجنين واحد كسور شيء شرتي ميل حضراء ميل لقيت من شرستاتك مركا ماشاز يرانتي ذي وحويان آد بانوش على تجستي ذا وان تجي شري كلبا waxaan aad uga heli jiray dee dumarkaasi yacni sida ay iskugu imanayaan sida ay waxa meesha laga bixin jiray timir iyo kolley timirta iyo saloolka doonashadiisana way ku jirtay yacni waxaan ka wadaa mar haddii lay waayo halkaasaa layga soo heli jiray horta markaan yaraa marka even sababta keentay inaan later on aan ka qoro sitaadka on cilmi baadhis ka sameeyo taas baa ka mid ah yacni markaa sidee ii qaabaysay waxay ii qaabaysay in aan noqdo qof jecel waxyaabahan hidiyo dhaqanka u leenay waayo anu aad waxaan jecel inaan wax uga qoro wax aynu dhaqan u leenay waxaynu leenay inaan cilmi baadhis ku sameeyo wax ka qoro marka runtii taasi waxay igu carisay oo carisay curiosity-gayga number 1 inaan wax isweydiiyo number 2 inaan jeclaado our cultural heritage iyo number 3 inaan waxa aan u xagliyo xagga dumarka oo dumarka aan maadaragtay ogaado waxyaabahay u baahan yihiin u fiirsado waayo sitaadku kaliya ta maaha isku imaatin wax badan baa ku dhex jira social cohesion baa ku dhex jira waxa ku dhex jira maadaragtay the space ay wax badan ku wadaagayaan marka waxyaabahaas oo dhan waxaan odhan karaa uu qaabeeyey cultural practice-kaasi uu qaabeeyey wad mahadsanta
aad iyo aad baad u mahadsan tahay that's the power of culture and memories and childhood and imagination you see they say that storytellers often have that one memory, that one moment in their past, often in their childhood, that completely shapes and propels them to write and tell stories. But not everyone finds their voice. Not everyone get to tell their stories. And you three are all lucky that you actually do tell your stories in one form or another. From podcasts to writing books and digital storytelling and short stories writing. Those are completely different practices and mediums of telling stories, but one thing they all have in common is in fact that you tell stories. The second question I want to get to is, in this day and age when we're all on social media, fast moving tweets, Facebook posts, TikTok, Snapchat and Instagram maybe, you know, how do you find your voice and how do you tell your stories? How do you stay authentic in this day and age?
I think a part of finding your own voice is trying out different things. And also you have to keep going. You have to keep practicing. When I started the podcast, I started it during the pandemic because we were forced to slow down. And that was the one time that I was actually able to process a lot of things. I started the podcast so I could share what I experienced when I came here, when I came to the homeland and things like that. But it ended up just being a space to reflect on more than just coming here, but also my childhood in the same way that I told that story about my dad and the different things that I came across. And it just became that the coming back home or coming to the homeland was just one piece of the story. I think the more I kept doing the podcast, it also sharpened the way I understood how stories are told. Like even if I interviewed people, I'm like, this is what I see from you, 1, 2, 3, 4. How do you think about that? And then they were like, and then it made it easier for them to also then share what I thought was important, but also, I mean, give them space to share their own stories. And one thing I would like to say from that whole experience of podcasting, I learned, especially in a Somali space, is that everybody wants a space to tell their stories. They just might not know where it is. I started Isirka because I wanted a space for regular Somali stories. I didn't want a space for sensationalized Somali stories. I just wanted space where we could have, you know, a catalog of sorts of things that different people went through. And it didn't have to be that you reached like top success level for your story to be important. Everybody's story is important. And I have to give credit to my dad for that as well. Like that's something he definitely showed me throughout my life. But also at the same time, then I kind of moved into writing a lot about music and arts and culture because I think we also need to focus on cultural production. That's the one thing that all three of us are here to talk about, coming from different countries and different backgrounds. And I think that's the one thing that will allow Somalis, regardless of where they live or where they come from, to find a space to come together and at least have conversations like this. Everybody could add their own thing. You know, it's not a restrictive space. It's a fluid space. It's a space for creativity. And with that, then we can imagine different ways of moving in society, but also different ways of imagining what Somali identity looks like or is, you know, in the years to come.
For me, I started my first podcast, my first YouTube channel in 2019. That's the first time I put something on video. I had no idea. I didn't even know how to record. I used my iPhone. And because I was so excited, I was finding things that are helping me grow. And I was like, I have to share this. So if you go to my videos, early videos, you'll look and you see the difference, the growth, right? So how do we stay significant? How do we ensure the content and the information we are passing is relevant and important? I think we need to be in a place where we know the why. Why am I doing this? Am I doing this for money? Or am I doing this to make an impact? Am I doing this to share the gems? And hence I had my business, The Gems of Life. But guess what? You're going to find, as you do this, you're going to find people who are not happy with what you share. So I remember the first video I put it on, and I shared something from my past. And I had somebody call me, and they said, why are you talking about that? It's the past. Why are you talking about that? But guess what? My past shaped who I am becoming. It brought me where I am, so I cannot ignore. That's why in the book I say, no past left behind. You cannot forget your past. Your past brought you here. So why are you talking about it? So you will find people who will try to discourage you, right? So what you need to do is find your why and then stay as authentic as possible. Your voice, your story. Only you can tell that story. No one else can tell it the way you can. You share from a place that people can be helped. You share from a place of impact, that you're helping somebody. If you speak, you don't speak to millions of people. You're speaking to one person, because that one person is the one that needs to hear your message. So stay open, be authentic, and be true to what you're doing. And know what is the intention behind it. It's the impact that I want to help somebody. Wallahi, you'll never know. I've had people send me messages and say, you have no idea how you changed my life. That one voice that I needed, that one message that I heard is exactly what I needed to hear this very moment. So your story has the power to help somebody.
su-aashu khadarina weydiiyey waxay ahayd haddaan soomaaliyeeyo sideed
adduunyo social media la wada eryanayo oo likes iyo shares iyo la wada eryanayo aad maaragtay sheekadaadu aanad ugu xidhin dhacdooyinka maalinlaha ee dadku xiiseynayaan laakiin wixii aad doonaysay aad uga hadashaa
si fiican waa su-aal aad u muhiima runtii qofka waxaana dareemi kara uun siday iminka u adag tahay adduunyada imika aynu ku noolnahay iyo social media imika lagu jiro inuu qofku noqdo consistent inuu qofku hal wax ka hadlo inuu wixii lagu yaqaanay uu gaar u ahaado oo aanu mawjadaha qaadan yacni waxaa fahmi kara uun qof tiktok ka hor social media isticmaali jiray qofkaas ma garan kara qof hibale oo hibadiisa la wadaagi jiray dadka platformku doonaba kula wadaago qofkaas baa garan kara mawjadaha na qaaday waayo waxa soo baxay aalad tiktok la yiraahdo soo baxday waxa soo baxay aad in dadku ay focuska u saaraan waxay daawanayaan Soomaali hadaynu nahayna khadar waabay ka dartayba ka daro dibidal baa la oran jiray waxa aad waynu garanaynaa taas uma baahna inaan ku celceliyo waxa aad baraha bulshada iyo meelaha wax lagu la wadaago u qabsaday dad aan ku soo bandhigayn creativity ku soo bandhigayn ama hal abuur ku soo bandhigayn ama storytelling ku soo bandhigayn maalin baan qoraal yar aan sameeyay waxaan idhi tiktok hadii la eego qofka ugu followeriska cidda ugu followeriska badan leh account-nada ugu followeriska badan leh ma aha account ay leedahay jaamacad ama institution uu leeyahay ma aha account ay dawladda leedahay xataa ma aha account uu sheekh Mustafa account-kiisa tiktok ma account-ka ugu followeriska badan baa Soomaalida ma aha account jaamacad Hargeysa ay leedahay oo aqoon laga kordhiyo ma aha account qof kale oo aqoonyahana oo saaka halkan waxaanu dhageysanaynaa Axmed Ibrahim Cawaale oo runtii tan iyo cimrigiisaba geliyay inuu wax baaro oo cilmi baaris ku sameeyo dhirta Soomaaliland oo imikana waxa weeyaan uu diiwaan gelin u sameeyay account uu leeyahay ma aha account-ka ugu followerska badan leh Soomaalida haddaba maxaa account-ka ugu followerska badan leh Soomaalida waa kee waxa weeye waa account wax kale laga hadlayo waa account qof qabyaalad ka hadlaya inaan wax kale xayeysiinaysa taas waxay ina tusinaysaa sida bulsho ahaan waxa weeyaan u